As a result of the success of my Q&A video, which I did, a couple of months back now, actually, it was quite a while ago, I've decided to do another casual video of this style, a casual sit-down video, interacting with you guys, getting you guys to, influence the video, play a part in it. And this time I'm going to be doing an assumptions video. I asked you guys on Instagram sending your assumptions about me, based off what you've seen of me on the internet pretty much. I actually send them in and I'm going to answer, whether they're true or not, and do a bit of a, explanation or backstory, kind of explaining the reasons why these assumptions are true and why they're not, where that applies. Last time it was a Q&A, getting you to send in your questions and how I'm answering them, and this time it's assumptions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to ThrillNet, and today I'm going to be answering your assumptions about me. Whether they're true, whether they're not true, why they're not true, you name it. And yeah, I've had a good few assumptions sent in by, a number of you. We've got quite a few to get through. There's some from close friends as well who know me more personally, who I've met. And they're some of the funniest ones actually. I can't wait to go through these, expose myself. It's a chance for you guys to get to know a bit more about me. It's an opportunity for you guys to get a shout out. Influence the video. I want to do more videos of this style to get you guys involved because you absolutely love the Q&A. I should also mention liking the Q&A video. Whenever a question sticker appears on screen, because you guys answered obviously using the question stickers, or one or two sent me a direct message as well. Above that question sticker or message, showing the assumption as I'm reading it out, I'm going to put all your Instagram names above them, basically so that you guys watching, can go and follow these accounts, give them some support, because a lot of the accounts that have sent in the assumptions, they are theme park accounts, they're content creators, and they love your support. So my first assumption comes from my good friend Josh from Theme Park Mads. Obviously you guys will know or should know, because where have you been if you've not heard about this guy? He's a photography page on Instagram, he has a Twitter as well, a Facebook, and most importantly of all, has a YouTube channel. That's his main platform. He's a YouTuber like me, so he produces very similar style content to me really, and he assumes the Smiley is my favourite ride. Josh, it's not my favourite ride, and I've never been on it, and it looks like a monstrosity of a badly profiled track mess, to be honest. It's a load of inversions with a couple of airtime hills, and I don't even know if what I said back there makes sense. But it looks like just a twisting monstrosity pretty much, and it's got awful theming, awful colour scheme, like an awful soundtrack. Okay, that was a bit over exaggerated, but in all seriousness, I've not ridden the Smiler, so I can't say it's my favourite ride. Looking at it, you'll know if you watch my top 5 most anticipated coasters in the UK that I'm yet to ride video. I'll put a link in the card in the top right here. You'll know it's number 3 on the list. Oh, whoops, that was a bit of a spoiler, wasn't it? But that's not an excuse to not to go and watch it. Go and watch it after you finish watching this. But yeah, you'll know it's my number 3. It's not my most anticipated coaster, but I really do want to get on it, because it's just, it's the world record coaster in terms of how many inversions it has. 14 inversions. I may find it smooth, I may find it rough, because some people find it horribly rough, some others smooth. So yeah, if I find it rough and painful, I'll just slate the rides, let's face it. But if it's smooth, I might rate it. But at the end of the day, it's just a load of inversions. This ride is incredibly controversial amongst enthusiasts. Some love it, some hate it, so I'm probably either going to love or hate the ride. But I feel like it could do with just more element variety in terms of, rather than just inversions. About what I was saying about the soundtrack, I hate it. Yeah, I don't like the soundtrack. It's like the only soundtrack by I'm a Score that I don't like. In terms of theming, the theme is just not my cup of tea really. I feel like it could be more heavily themed than it is. And I think that if it was made, you know, after they've kind of done Wicker Man, and that's, in my opinion, the best Merlin themed attraction that out of those that I've seen anyway in the UK. I feel like if the Smiler was to be, you know, kind of constructed now, and they were to do it now, it would be a better ride, because I mean, I just feel like with how things have advanced, you know, they proved themselves, Merlin with Wicker Man. I just feel like that if the Smiler was done now, they could have done a better job. And it's just the theme's not for me really, and I feel like it could be better. But yeah, in contrary to what I kind of said before about the coaster, it does look like an impressive ride. I mean, it is, the way they've kind of crammed it into such a small space. That's probably affected some of the track profiling with kind of how tight some of the elements are, and that's possibly kind of contributed to how rough it is, but it's impressive in that sense. And the way that they've kind of, you know, installed the queue under it, and kind of how it like meanders through that cattle pen under the ride, I think that's very impressive as well. Like, you can get some amazing shots of that ride, and I definitely will when I finally go and ride it. But yeah, it's not my favourite ride because I've not ridden it pretty much, and that's all I can say about it. On to the next assumption. The next assumption then is yet again from Josh from Theme Park Maz, and he says, you like creepers. I mean, well...
Oh! Creep!
Oh!
Oh no, there's another one! There's another creeper!
Run! Run up the mountain!
No! Ah! Creep! Ah!
Yeah.
No!
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that shows that I find them pretty terrifying, but that doesn't mean I don't like them. And in all seriousness, I think in terms of Minecraft as a game overall, and you know, as in terms of like entertainment in mine and Kirsten's series, you know, check out the playlist for that. We've got 2 episodes up so far. Put a link in the card in the top right again, so you can watch that. And I do apologise for plugging my content. Well, I don't apologise, go and watch it. But yeah, what am I talking about? Anyway, yeah, I think that they're a good addition to the game Minecraft. I mean, if you don't know, like, they're a complete mistake. You know, it was a complete like programming mistake. Some files were mixed up, and then we ended up with this like green thing that, yeah, blows up when you go near it pretty much, and can do a hell of a lot of damage. Like, in terms of its attack in the game, although it's like a 1 attack and it's dead pretty much, you know, it's practically like killing itself when it attacks you. It is a powerful attack, and I mean, if you are close enough to a creeper without any armour on, you know, and that blows up, you know, it's enough to kill you even if you're on full health. But what would Minecraft be without creepers? I mean, the creepers in the logo are the Minecraft logo, you know. Minecraft just wouldn't be Minecraft without creepers, and you know, they're a unique mob. Like, it just wouldn't be Minecraft without them. So yeah, go on. I do like creepers, even though they just terrify me every time I get blown up by one. So then, the next assumption comes from a good friend of mine, Hannah, who I met a couple of months back. I wouldn't say that she's an enthusiast. Well, she wouldn't class herself as that, but you know, she's into theme parks. And she says, you're a ladies' man. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Well, first of all, Hannah, you know the answer to that question, so I don't know why you've assumed it, because there's no assuming it, because you know it's a fact. And yes, all I'm going to say is that there was an incident that happened between us a couple of months back that I'm not going to go into in this video, because yeah, for reasons, yeah, probably better I keep this out of the video. Some of you watching probably know what it is and are in stitches at the moment, and Hannah's probably in stitches as well. Well, she might be, she might not be. Yeah, let's just say it wasn't really a good thing that happened at the time, but I mean, we just laugh about it now. But yeah, the answer is yes, and I've never been in a relationship in my life. I'm not in one now, but yeah, Yeah, that's true, I am a ladies' man, I guess. But on to the next one then. My next assumption then comes from Theme Park Ben. No, not me. I'm throwing it. I know my real name's Ben, but I'm throwing it. Formerly Theme Park TV this guy is, but his real name is Ben. Those who watched the Q&A video will know that, you know, he asked a question in it, and yeah, it was known as Theme Park TV at the time. I didn't actually know his real name was Ben then, but if you are watching Ben, you've got a brilliant name, I'll just say that now. But yeah, he's known as Theme Park TV, not Theme Park Ben, but you know, he's had a bit of a rebrand and he's now known as Theme Park Ben. Yeah, he has an Instagram account, to go and check that out. Obviously I'll put that above the question sticker when I reveal it in a second. And he's also got a YouTube channel, which this question, I'm getting it mixed up again, assumption relates to specifically. And he says that he thinks I'm scared that he's going to catch me in subscribers. No, not at all. And I don't mean that in a bad way, Ben. What I mean is, you know, you're on, I believe, 55 subscribers at the moment as I'm recording this. I'm on 71, so you're not miles behind. But I'm not scared if you do catch me in subscribers, you know. I'm not that type of person. You know, it's not a competition, this YouTube sort of thing, you know. Yeah, obviously people are going to watch like the better YouTubers and that, and we all want, you know, we all want to be big. But, you know, it's not a competition as such. I'm not like treating it like, yeah, sure, I wish I was like a really big YouTuber, you know what I mean, but I'm not going to get mad if someone passes me. I'm just not that type of person who's going to get mad if someone overtakes me in subscribers, and I don't get like mad with people who are like bigger, you know, bigger Instagram accounts, bigger YouTubers than me. I'm not that type of person to kind of get mad over that, so no, I'm not scared that you'll overtake me. I mean, whether you'll overtake me or not, who knows, you may well do. If people take to your content well, then sure you will, and I don't see why they wouldn't, because you do, you know, produce some great videos. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. You know, it's not a competition. You know, of course I want people to come to me, because why wouldn't I? You know, I want people to watch me. But yeah, our next assumption then comes from, yet again, Ben from Theme Park TV, or he's now known as Theme Park Ben, obviously. And he said that, or he assumes that I like Star Wars more than I like theme parks. Absolutely not. I know I have the, you know, Star Wars poster behind me, you know, back there, and I've got, you know, the cutout Yoda and the cutout R2-D2 behind me. I've also got the Star Wars poster on my other wall as well, that you will have seen when I used to have my old setup in some of my, you know, older videos from the start of this year back into 2019 as well. But absolutely not. You know, Star Wars with me is like, I mean, I'll mention you again, why not? So when I was saying about Hannah before, how she's not strictly an enthusiast, or she doesn't class herself as that, but she likes theme parks, if you know what I mean. She likes roller coasters, but she's not like a content creator as such, and her life doesn't evolve like around theme parks to an extent where she'd class herself as an enthusiast. That's what it's like with me with Star Wars. I'm not like one of those Star Wars, you know, enthusiast who knows like all the backstories and everything. You know, I'm not that kind of thing with Star. Yeah, I enjoy the films that I've watched. I've not even watched all the Star Wars films, but my life doesn't evolve around Star Wars that much, really. I mainly just, you know, go to the cinema and see the new films. And yeah, I do have some bits of merchandise. Mainly stuff I've collected from Disney parks, really. You know, I have the posters, I have the cutouts, and I remember I got some of it was a TIE Fighter, you've seen it in one of my videos before, and there's the X-Wing I have, and then I also have the Millennium Falcon as well. I have some models of them. I remember I got them from Disneyland Paris actually, but my life doesn't evolve around Star Wars that much. You know, my life evolves to a much greater extent around theme parks, and quite a lot around theme parks. Obviously I have my Instagram account, I'm a content creator, I am an enthusiast. Definitely I class myself as that because of, you know, how much theme parks are a part of my life, and the fact I create content surrounding them. You know, this YouTube channel's dedicated to them. My Instagram account's dedicated to them. But yeah, that's all there really is to say about that. The next assumption then comes yet again from Ben from Theme Park TV. Yeah, he sent in a lot. Oh, Theme Park Ben, sorry, got it wrong again. And he's got good attention to detail because he's assumed that when I mention sort of dog noises in the background of some of my videos, that it's actually my dog and not someone else's dog. No, that's not actually true. To give you guys a bit of context, you might not be aware, basically a couple of my videos have been interrupted by a dog barking outside. It's generally the ones where it's been sort of warm and our neighbours have been outside and we've had the windows open. But yeah, he's assumed that it's actually my dog. No, it's not. It is our neighbour's dog. It's not my dog. I don't have a dog. And that's all I can really say about that one. The next assumption then comes from Theme Park Curry, and he has said, you like Lidl. I mean, I don't have an opinion on there. I'm not really responsible for shopping and I don't shop there, so I can't really give an opinion on that one. But yeah, Theme Park Curry, obviously an Instagram account. I will have put it above his questions sticker. Yeah, go and check him out. A good theme park account. But yeah, the next assumption then comes from another theme park account, this time Coaster Mission, and he says that I seem like a pretty cool guy and, you know, good to hang around with. And yeah, thank you for that assumption. And I mean, this is biased obviously because it's coming from me, but yeah, I guess it's true. Yeah, I mean, I consider myself a good person. Obviously this is all biased, but I think the people around me would as well. Yeah, that's all I really have to say, you know. I think I'm a pretty good person overall. Obviously you form your opinion on that, you guys. I'm sure my sort of close friends, you know, who I've met in this community would say that. Yeah. Next we have an assumption from Ellis Grayson. Go and check out Ellis's Instagram page. He's someone I spoke to a bit. I'm in a few group chats with him, and he's actually just revived his YouTube channel, Coaster First. So definitely go and check that out. It's a really good channel, and I've got another assumption from him that says a bit about that later. But yeah, definitely go and check out Ellis Grayson on Instagram and Coaster First on YouTube. There's a link in Ellis's bio to his YouTube channel as well, and he's been doing a lot of music stuff at the moment. He's done an Oblivion cover. You know, he's into his music stuff as well as his theme park stuff, and he's kind of merged the two together when he's brought back his channel as well for some of his content. And he's also working on a Nemesis cover as well, and he started in it's sounding really good as music stuff. So yeah, and he said Icon is my #1 coaster. I mean, well, yeah, I think it's pretty clear it is my #1 coaster, and I mean the reason for that is it might not be the most intense coaster in the UK, but yeah, I mean it's not really close to that. In terms of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I'd say it's more intense than sort of all the Woodies and Avalanche Steeplechase, and even the big one, even though the big one is, I'd say, more intimidating coaster to ride than Icon. It's not necessarily that intense. Icon does have some intensity, particularly in the second half of its layout around its helixes, and you know, you've got the Immelman as well that has a bit of force to it. The first top hat after the first launch, or I should say the top hat because there's only one of them. But yeah, you know, that's not the reason I like it, is because it's intense. You know, if I based my rankings of coasters off intensity, Icon, you know, wouldn't be the #1 spot. I mean, for this country, Nemesis would, and I mean, it certainly wouldn't be worldwide. But the reason I like Icon is it's a very fun coaster, I find, because, you know, of its variety and its elements it has. In terms of the elements I think go into a good coaster, Icon ticks all the boxes, really. I mean, it's got 2 launches, it's obviously got that top hat, it's got airtime moments, it's got, you know, You know, it's obviously got the 0G rolling version, which is a good inversion, gives some good handling time. It's got positive G forces. It's got everything really. You know, that's not to say that I'd want more from Icon. You know, Icon's by no means a perfect coaster. It could give more. You know, I've said that I wish the launching were maybe a bit faster so it carried its speed a bit better to the end of its layout, because you know, it kind of slowly glides into the brakes at the end because it's lost a lot of its speed, where, you know, I'd prefer it if it still had that speed towards the end. You know, it's made some of the final turns a bit more interesting, because, you know, after that sort of outward bank airtime hill, Icon's layout's mainly just turns after that, and it just doesn't do a lot for me. So I think it'd be good if the launches were a bit faster, so, you know, it's packing a bit more of a punch going around those turns through the transitions, and then obviously it has the speed, still has a lot of speed at the end and goes flying into the brake run. I just think it'd be a better ride, and it makes some of the earlier elements a bit more thrilling as well. And I think even an increase of 5 to 10 miles per hour on those launches would put Icon into an upper level in terms of an overall coaster. But don't get me wrong, it's a good coaster for the UK. Another thing is, I do wish it had another inversion, because I think it could do with that, to just add something else, you know, inversion wise, you know, in terms of those sort of, you know, feelings, forces, you know. But yeah, the main thing with Icon really for me is its speed, to be honest. It could be a bit faster, and it would benefit from that in my opinion. But don't get me wrong, it's my #1 coaster. You know, it's fun and it's got good variety of elements, and probably the best variety of elements of any coaster I've ridden really, and it's just a coaster I enjoy the most. But don't get me wrong, I've ridden a lot of good coasters, and as much as Nemesis, you know, coasters like that on a UK basis are more intense, you know, I take airtime over a lot of things, and Icon just has that airtime that you don't really, you know, you don't get on rides like Nemesis. You know, it's got some of the best airtime moments in the UK, Icon. But yeah, opinions are quite split on Icon. There are people who love it and it's like the #1 coaster in the UK, and for some like me it's the #1 coaster. Others think it's a good coaster but nothing special in terms of being a top UK coaster. You know, they think, a lot of people think sort of it's into all the top, but it's just not there as a #1. There are coasters in the UK like the Smiler, Nemesis, Wickerman, and even the Swarm for some people that just do it for them that bit more than Icon does. But I mean, we all like different things when it comes to roller coasters. You know, there was a lot of hype when, you know, Icon opened. You know, a lot were thinking it was gonna, like, there was this kind of thought this like really good coaster, the best thing in the UK, and I think as that hype's died down, the split between people who love the ride and just think it's, you know, good has become a bit more noticeable. But yeah, thanks for your assumption. So the next assumption then comes from yet again Ellis Grayson, and this time he says he assumes that I love his music. Yeah, that's a fair assumption. I've kind of already answered that, haven't I? Yeah, I do really like it. Doing some good stuff, obviously. I said about, you know, the theme park covers, Nemesis, Oblivion, so definitely go and check those out. Obviously via his Instagram, you can find a link to his YouTube, and obviously I put his Instagram above the question stickers where he's made his assumptions. But yeah, final assumption then comes yet again from Ellis Grayson, and this is the final thing he's assumed, and he said Coaster First is better than Coaster Crazy. He assumes that. Yeah, I'd say in some ways yes. In terms of vlogs, Coaster Crazy is mainly a vlogging channel, so I would say that he's better at that. But in terms of video variety, I think Ellis Lee, you do much better at that. I mean, Coaster Crazy is mainly just vlogs and on-ride POVs. You know, it's very similar really to another channel which I won't mention. I think heavily inspired by that. But yeah, I think Coaster Crazy though is a YouTuber who gets overlooked these days. I mean, you can have your own thoughts about him, but I think, you know, he's okay, really. You know, he's okay. He's maybe done some things in the past that are controversial, but yeah, he's an okay YouTuber, and he does a good job of his vlogs, to be honest. So yeah, but I think, yeah, Ellis, in terms of your like variety of videos, I mean, if we're talking about vlogs, then I'm going to be honest and say no, I definitely don't think that your channel is better in terms of that. But in terms of the overall variety of videos, looking at kind of everything that does, I'd say that Coaster First is definitely the more creative channel. So yeah, why not? Coaster First is better than Coaster Crazy. The next assumption then comes from Coaster Thrills, and he says that I find pretty much every coaster rough. No, just no, I don't. I mean, first of all, Icon's silky smooth, and I feel like that although stuff like Infusion, you know, things like that I find rough. You know, Infusion, I've said I'll never go on it again. Probably end up getting dragged on it at some point, but you know what I mean. I didn't enjoy it. I feel like that there are a few coasters that others find rough that I don't like. Take Speed at Oakwood, for example. People have said to me that that's rough. I didn't find it rough at all. I found it quite smooth. Yeah, it has a slight rattle to it on end seats, but really it's pretty smooth. And then some people say like Nemesis is rough. Yeah, you can get the odd headbang, I will admit. You know, the odd times, particularly on the first corkscrew and last barrel roll on Nemesis, sometimes when you ride it. And because the restraints are hard, I'm not going to lie, it does hurt and it can ruin your ride. However, I find with that, if you sit like forward a bit and put your head to the left, you can avoid that most times. Like, when I've tried that, I don't think I've ever had my head banged. If you sort of keep it to the side, it seems to help with that. But that's not enough, like the odd jolt, in my opinion, for a coaster to be classed as rough. It's just not. And then people say Rita's rough. Like, I find it a bit rattly and I don't think that's particularly great, but I don't find it a headbanger or anything, just no. And then, yeah, as well, people say the big one's rough. Not gonna lie, you know, I've had one rough ride on the big one. It was actually the first ride I ever had on it. I did find it rough and it did hurt, not gonna lie, but I don't think I've ever had a like painful ride on it since. So yeah, those are just a few examples of coasters that are often, or by some, regarded as rough that I've not really found rough. But I will say though that if I do find a coaster painful, it does really ruin the experience for me. So I think when I know I go on about coasters being painful and I'll never ride them again, and I think that's where you got that idea from. It's not that I find coasters that others find smooth rough, really. I don't think that's really the case. It's mainly that, you know, if I find a coaster painful, it really ruins it for me. It just does. Our next assumption then is another one from Josh from Theme Park Mad, and he assumes that Grand National is my favourite wooden roller coaster. No, not close really. I mean, Grand National is my third favourite wooden coaster currently, just above Megaphobia at Oakwood. Just to clarify, I'm sure you all know, we're talking about Grand National at Blackpool Pleasure Beach here. But yeah, it's a good wooden coaster and one that I'd say is underrated. It often gets criticised for how rough it is, but what you need to do to avoid that really is sit on a non-wheel seat. I mean, you can't really choose your air gates for non-wheel seats at the moment with the social distancing measures. They are loading everyone on wheel seats at the moment, so now's probably not the best time to ride Grand National because, I mean, I'm sure you all know it's a little bit rough on wheel seats. It's one you might want to give a miss at the moment if you don't like a rough ride. But yeah, I mean, Josh is actually the person who convinced me to go back on Grand National again after I had, let's say, unbearably rough, very painful ride on it in 2015 when I rode it on a wheel seat. He convinced me to go back on it on a non-wheel seat and said that I'd be fine. And you know, it's quite a smooth woody on non-wheel seats, to be honest. Yeah, and it gives them really good air time. But for me, the GCI woodies I've done, Wickerman and Woden, just do it for me. I find them more thrilling. and I'd say that Woden in particular has some better airtime than Grand National. Some good bits of ejector around the ride, but don't get me wrong, Grand National gives me you know, really good airtime. But I mean, Woden's first drop is just incredible. I mean, it's a very big drop. I can't remember how big it is off the top of my head, but you're out the seat from the top to the bottom, let me tell you. But don't get me wrong, Grand National is a very good wooden roller coaster. My third favourite in the world and my second favourite here in the UK. Our final assumption then comes from Coaster Mission, another assumption from him, and he says that he assumes I'm a swell guy. Well, I mean, you've kind of made that assumption already, really, sort of. It's sort of. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said before, this is biased, but I think I'm a good person. Yeah, I guess I am a swell guy, but yeah, I mean, you know, I think I'm a good person, and I think when I do make mistakes, because we all make mistakes, I'm not going to deny I do make mistakes, because I do. You know, sometimes I mess things up with people or whatever. I think I'm someone who admits when I make a mistake, which I think is the most important thing, because we all make mistakes. You know, I admit when I made a mistake and I try and do my best to sort it out. You know, I'm not someone who tries to, you know, brush it under the carpet and hide when I'm done wrong, you know. And, you know, I'll take to criticism well as well. As I'm recording this, you know, I woke up this morning to a message, you know, giving a bit of constructive criticism about my channel and a couple of things I could do better, you know, suggestions how I could improve it. And, you know, when we all see criticism, you know, our natural reaction is to think, you know, just hate it. And I was reading this thing, like he's saying, oh, I've got some suggestions of what you could do better, but then in my head I was like, oh God, what's he gonna say? But, you know, I take criticism on board, and that's the most important thing. I think no one likes criticism, we all hate criticism, but the most important thing is whether you take that on board or not, how you handle it. You know, you could have a go at someone, or you could say, okay, I'll take that on board. You know, I think you're right here, but I don't think you're right here. And, you know, he made some valid points, the guy that messaged me this morning. You know, it's definitely something I'm going to take on board, the things he said, you know, for future videos. But, yeah, make sure you subscribe if you like this video. Give it a like, you know, click the bell to enable notifications so you're notified when I next upload. You know, I'm going to be doing some more of these sort of, you know, casual videos, getting you guys involved, you know, as well as my sit-down videos, other sit-down videos in terms of top 10s and stuff, ride reviews. I've obviously got the Minecraft collab with Kirsten. There's a lot going on that you've got to look forward to. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.